Hello, everyone. So a few weeks ago, a friend of mine gave me a call because he wanted to talk about a leadership program he was putting together. So I said I was happy to chat. Maybe we could find a couple of hours later that week to discuss. So about 20 minutes later, he called me again and he said we needed to meet because he wanted to show me the program. So we met up. I ordered coffee, and he was already drinking ChatGPT. So he opened up the app with this big smile on his face, and he showed me this program. I read it and then said to him, hey, this is great. You should ask it to also account for any kinesthetic learners who might be attending. So he did, and ChatGPT replied with its characteristic confidence. Certainly, I often pray for just 10% of the confidence with which ChatGPT says certainly. But then it said, here's an updated version of the program tailored to kinesthetic learners. Let me know if you want me to take other learning styles into account as well. So this is probably a familiar story, and many of you can maybe relate to it in some way or another. And I wanted to start with it because I think it's part of the challenge we face as L&D professionals. It's a tough time to be in L&D when everyone is now suddenly an expert in L&D. And I think this next slide illustrates this context a bit more. I know. I think there's another slide maybe, but wait, hang on a second. Maybe not. We'll carry on. But the point is, this is the way AI is kind of progressing. I think it puts a lot of interesting pressure on us as professionals, right? And I think there's a reason. I was thinking about this. I think the reason our stakeholders like AI so much is because it's the direct opposite of us. It has that supreme confidence, almost a swagger that comes from having a very limited understanding of the situation. But it aims to please, right? And this is important. Because it's always trying to offer a solution, and it's always jumping enthusiastically into problem-solving mode. And so there's a pretense of competence, which senior leadership tends to find satisfying. Now, if we go back to the question that we started, and the question is, how do we approach our work with authenticity and intention in this new paradigm? If anybody here knows me, you would have known that I don't mean AI in the way that everybody else means AI. But authenticity and intention, how do we bring that more into our work? Because I think our work does have to change. I think the way we work does have to change because we are in a new paradigm. But how do we do that? So for today, I know the clock is ticking. I'd like to propose just 3 ways. I won't be going into details, but hopefully we can have some time later to do that. The first way, I think, is to get really good at the things that AI will always be bad at. Things like curiosity, empathy, storytelling. These are called human skills for a reason. And I think the way we can really unlock some of the gains from AI and get meaningful change is to find ways to operate at the opposite end of the spectrum from it. Because I think, so this is how we're going to collaborate, right? Because AI on one end, us on the other. It's no point us trying to compete with AI. We have to be at the other end. And then what you might see is the solution sort of, having this bell curve where the kind of solutions come from somewhere in between, right? But that it's imperative for us to be at that other end. Secondly, I think we have to have the courage to experiment, to try things where success is not guaranteed, because that's the only way we will continue to innovate. Now, Carl Sagan once used this lovely expression where he said, zest for experiment. I love it. It's something we need to do more of rather than just defaulting to cookie cutter solutions. Right? And I think finally, the third thing I want to say is we need to spend more time with the problem. Albert Einstein once said, it's not that I'm so smart, I just stay with problems longer. So we need to be able to get better at asking the right questions, listening better, so we really get a deep understanding of what we're trying to solve for. Because ultimately, most of the problems we're dealing with in our profession have an underlying human element. Yes, we're talking about human behavior, motivation, emotions. Again, things that AI will never have any real awareness of. So, I hope that helped, those three things. I know that these will be difficult. I want to acknowledge that these are not easy. They're easy to say, but not easy when we're out back in our workplaces dealing with, the pressures of the business and demanding sort of leaders and with the focus on things that speed and efficiency and instant results that AI brings. That's what we're up against, right? But I also think it's important that we do this so that we can continue to add value in ways that are both authentic and intentional. Thank you for listening, and let's keep the conversation going.
Thank you so much, AJ. And we discovered your slide. Your right, that made sense.
Well, better late than never, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally fine, and I'm sure many people will be relieved to see that it's not a scene from The Gladiator.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, AJ.